Hello, everybody! Welcome into the new year with a new series, The Uplifters. These interviews dedicated and designed for absolutely amazing people who are investing their time, their energy, their enthusiasm in uplifting people like us, like normal people, I would say, and inspire them to more, to greater, to more consciousness, and to more joy. And today I have the pleasure and delight and the surprise to discover Oana Merisescu. She is usually known by people we encounter in our circles as a facilitator and as a trainer and a coach. But today, Oana, welcome into the show. And I will be asking you to forget all about being a facilitator, which is a bit difficult, but tell us about the amazing creator that you be. So, wanna welcome and let's go on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this. It's like, woo. This is really me. And yes, it's really me. And it's like something that I have been and done ever since I can remember. This is like, and this started the name of the collection of the creation that I'm so fond of. That is Colectia de margele. It's that it's a it's
Your connection, Wana, your connection. Maybe you can switch from
Can
from
you still
from
hear me?
no. No, we cannot, but maybe you can reconnect and I will be staying here because I know there
Okay.
was phone and computer. And while you're reconnecting, I'm going to tell people a bit of how we met and who's keeping me company right now. Okay? So disconnect and
I
reconnect and
I can
we will
hear
take
you
it.
now.
You can, but you're robotic on my end.
Okay.
Okay, so well, while Wana is reconnecting, I'm going to talk to you about how I met her. So, aside how should we say, the coaching and facilitating context, one day Wana came to the place where I was sitting in Bucharest at that moment, that is like 2 years ago, and she invited me to make acquaintance to a few, how should I call them, not even characters, personages, or like how do you call them? I will show them to you and then you will tell me how you would like to name them. So this is my first friend who came and joined me for a coffee. Look at her. If you know me, back then I was blonde and I was wearing fluffy stuff. So this cute little girl wanted to come with me. But then somehow, for some reason, I couldn't make a decision which one should come with me at home. And there is another beauty that invited herself to coffee, and her name is Mrs. Cappuccino. And if you look at my hair and my way of dressing right now, and you look at her, you can ask, what did this doll know? So, Wana, let's get back to you. Welcome back. So,
Thank you for having me back.
these beauties are made by you, and they are such a delight every time I see them. Every time it happens that I put them on my, how do you call it, purse, and they come with me and they just hang around and they like eye catching for the people. But when I look at them, for me, it's like they are so cute, but how much work is there in them? And you said you started with these creations ever since you know yourself. So, how did it start? How did it
Well,
start?
with the dolls, and they were first called bambola. It's Italian for dolls. And I uh, I first saw something like that with fabric dresses. And then I said, okay, I'm working with beads. I'm working with glass. I would like to really see what can be created with that. And they started really small and with Murano beads heads like this one. This is a vintage bead that is very big and very interesting. And then I found this lady that agreed to make them more human like, to enter from the abstract form to a more personal and personalized form. And it's like you asked me how much work is that it's in one doll. It's not work, it's a lot of joy. And it's not only mine is the lady that makes the heads. It's my daughters that make their hands and the feet of the dolls and add their sparkles and add their joy and add their excitement and play with them.
But these are only the dolls, but you make so many more things. What else is coming out of your hands? There's a painting behind you. There's a dress that you're wearing. There's so much more to what meets the eye. So tell us.
Well, I'm an explorer, and as I said, I am a collector of beauty. So even as a little child, I was collecting stones from the road, from near the rivers, from everywhere I could find them, and actually look at them and marvel at them and see the little veins and the colors, and you know wondering what project can I do with that stone or whatever shiny thing I could find. So what started the collection, the actual collection, was when I first had my official workplace. After every day, I was going to a shop that had Murano glass, and the ladies would let me play. And I was again the little kid with colors, with textures, with a lot of, I was in paradise. And that shop was the first time that I was really invited to be present with jewelry. When I first entered, I took three pairs of earrings, and the guy, it was actually a guy that was selling, and he said, "Did you try them on?" And I said, "No, I just want to pay them and go." And he said, "No, go and try to see how they work with your face and your physiognomy." And he was right. Like, I actually went home with two out of three. So that sparkled something in my world. And that's actually might be the spark that made me try and see what I can do, what my hands can do, what I can explore.
And I'm listening to you. So I have to tell people that the first time that I'm actually talking to you about everything that's jewelry, that I enjoy each and every creation that you're posting on Instagram or on Facebook. I have my own jewelry coming from you, but I never knew the story. So what was that? Do you remember what was the first thing that you have ever created that you told yourself this one is going to go into the world? Have you ever had this idea that's going to grow into a business? Because you started 15 years ago. 15. I mean, I don't dare ask you how old were you at 15, but what a visionary to have this idea and to, continue on this path.
Well,
So what
actually, it was something that brought me joy, and it started like that. And I collected them, and I collected them, and made them, and made them. And at the point, I was looking at them, and I said, somebody else has to enjoy this too. Because, I enjoy them. a lot and I adore them, but I cannot wear them all, you know,
At the same time.
at the same time. And this is exactly, it's another thing that brings me a lot of joy, seeing smiles on people's faces. And, you know, just perceiving what their worlds expand and become fuzzy with these things. And let's face it, we all like a little shiny thing, like we all like colors, we all like something new and something that seems alive. Because for these ones, this is what I love, and this is what I perceive that everybody that meets them, because they are some kind of creatures, you know.
Well, I will tell you one thing to me because, I've been busy with some other stuff lately, but when I saw them again, they look like little fairies. They know
Exactly.
exactly what they're there in the world to do, and they're so fancy and so ready to show off. And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is like so much joy." It's true. I personally can perceive the joy that's in them, and that invitation to, okay, more sparkles, please, more sparkles to the left, to the right, swirl that fluff, swirl that dress, do something about that. And it's what really touched me when you saw, I was looking at you when you saw it for the first time, your whole face just lightened up. It's so much caring even now. So your receiving of your own creation, it's basically melting me right now into, oh my God. And it's not that mother like, so let me ask you a question. um, how do you part with them? Because as an artist, as you said, you cannot wear all of them. At some point they have to go. How is it for you to let them go into the world?
Well, at first I promised myself that I would make one of each model for me also, because it was like that, it was hard, not hard, it was like, oh, she's so cute, I want that also. And I started collecting little heads or materials to make sure, because each and every one is unique. And that was when I said, wait a minute, I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I think there are over 100 dolls in the world, and they are everywhere in the world. I didn't travel the world like they do. So
Not yet.
this,
Not
not
yet.
yet, yeah. And this is like, it's not a mother thing, because I'm not their mother. I cannot, and this is what I adore about them, that I cannot control them. I cannot, even if I would try. Even what is the, like, the funniest moment in creation is when I try to make photos of them, and each and every one has her own positions, has her own attitude. I try to make them, okay, stand nice, and you keep your hands down and you keep your feet down, and no, it's impossible. They turn and they pose. Each and every one has her own style. That's why I'm saying they are like little creatures, and they always surprise me. Even if you would say that there's mathematics and there's, you know, the radius of the skirts, and it can be, hi Jacinta, it can be like you would say, okay, so you did this hundreds of times, there's no surprise in there. Well, there's always surprise in there.
I love
The-
that. There's always a bit of surprise. And I would, so let me ask you one question, because I can see there's a lot of work in them. Okay. So Do you remember each and every one of them that you made?
Hmm. I would say no and yes, because when I see them, I reconnect. I can perceive this energy that, I play with them. I can like admit that I am a big kid and I play with all of them. They, they have my sparkles with them, and I remember most of their stories. Most of the, this one is the fiancé that wanted to make a surprise for his girlfriend, and all the heebie-jeebies and the expectations and the let's do a surprise, or this one is something that unique that somebody, a husband, asked for his wife. And this were like, these are priceless moments for me, the complicity and the I get to live those moments at like a glimpse of them.
I love that. You're actually part of people's lives more than you would know that you would expect. But it's not only the dolls. You're also making jewelry. Like I'm not wearing it right now, but I have two exquisite pairs of earrings coming from
Mm-hmm.
you. And I remember when I opened the box, it was on Christmas last year when I opened the box and I was like, ah, earrings from Wana. And every time there's this special occasion when I want to sparkle extra, like, when black dress, the little black dress goes with Wana's earrings. So you will see them. You have possibly seen them. I have a big picture on my other desktop with me wearing those earrings. Ha! Show us. You're wearing one. Ah, look at that. So now you know what I'm
But the
talking about.
lighting is not. mm, mm, mm.
They are just delicious. So you're making earrings and you're making colliers and you're also
Necklaces, yes, and all sorts of things, because I I'm an explorer, and I get bored really quickly. And there's so much in the world to explore, and I'm not afraid to mess it up. I'm not afraid to ruin fabric. And I like also the story with fabrics was the ethnographic collection, because
tell us more because people don't know that and I didn't touch upon that. So for those of you who don't know it, Juana is also an expert in ethnographic wear, like costumes and traditional wear. And you have quite an impressive collection at home, and you
Mhm.
have also been featuring them in photographic collections. So maybe you can tell more about that. Where does this fashion come from, and how does it intertwine with everything that you're being and doing further on?
Well, actually, that was like a very emotional choice, because it was when my father got ill, and I got the urge to make sure that whew, I have something that will not fade away, that lingers. And the first thing was actually a masked ball that we were requested to bring national costumes, and I told everybody, and actually found pieces from the both families, mine and my husband's, and build a costume that was really coherent, that was from two families, whatever, like pieces are really disparate right now. They're not full costumes, are like really really lucky if you can find them. And there are areas in Romania that still
have really, honoring the traditions and they keep them. But most of them are like scattered. And
There
that
used to be
part,
some common wear at some point in time, but for those of us who don't know how old they are, how old are these costumes?
well, they vary. They vary. They can be even 200 years old. And
Oh
they
my God.
can, if the person really um, preserve them, they can be in really, really great shape.
Wow.
Yeah, and they are like, it was in a class that Gary Douglas saw me in wearing a Chinese kimono, and he mentioned they had silk and golden thread. Well, actually, Romanian clothing had a lot of golden thread and a lot of silver thread or silver bands in the clothing that were requiring so much mastery in technique, because they would break and they would like scratch your skin if you didn't know how to
Oh wow.
sew them, and they would have to break the line with each and every model,
Oh wow.
so they can hide the edges behind and the hiding the edges had to be always on the front, so they won't
So that
scratch
it's,
your skin.
yeah, they will, that's mastery. And
Yeah.
from that one you also featured these costumes in a photographic collection, which, if you wonder, if you're having a walk through Bucharest, you will see Oana on one of those posters. Where is it actually? It's close to the,
And well, the photos are not there now. It's on the Ethnotic site and blog. They have an incredible project that melts my heart, because they are doing, like, they are volunteers, and that is like every single summer vacation, all they spend going in the villages talking with the old ladies, and it's a community, that's true, but there's so much. I would not say work, because it's also work, but it's inspired action. It's like this will, at this point where all the costumes are so disparate and you don't know which is which and where it's from, and also there's a lot of artistic mismatch in all photos already. So it's from the 50s, the 40s. The costumes were mismatched because photo studios had a skirt from here and a shirt from there, and they put them together, and voila, so magical, so beautiful. And you sit and pose, and the photo is
for
ready.
me, I don't know about, the insights. What I see is the beauty that
Mm-hmm.
transfers from these pictures, and the willingness of somebody to preserve this absolute fabulous treasure, which normally people would just dismiss, like, well, Romanian national costumes, not much about them. But when you hear somebody like you talking about them, it's like, oh wow, maybe there is something else I haven't yet looked at. But you were saying something about, I know we're going like that, but
Mm-hmm.
this is what I like. You were saying about your girls that they are also bringing the sparkles into your creations. How does this work? Because I know you have two, not that little, but still little girls at home. One is 9 years old and the other one is four,
Four, almost four.
almost four. So you
Almost
can
four.
imagine, right? Like Santa Claus has elves, Wana has girls.
Yeah.
Uh, how do you do that? How do you work together? What's the working marching orders? with your
Well,
elves?
exactly. That's not marching orders. It started with the older one that was, fascinated with me, tinkering away of so many things, and the colors, and kids are really fascinated with this. And it was never work. It was always fascination. And she always wanted, okay, even this in like these days, she said, I would like to tinker with you. I would like to make some new pairs of hands and feet for the dolls. They play with them, they marvel with each and every one of them, and being part of that is also a great pleasure for them. And also, it's they get paid for their
You
work
pay
and
them?
fun. Yes, I pay them. I honor
Wow.
them, and it's like the joy of tinkering is continued then with the joy of having an ice cream or having something that they can buy for themselves, and them having money for their activities and their work is for me something that I never experienced.
Wow, this is revolutionary. I mean, not just the artist, but also it's like let's put it this way, a different financial consciousness behind that. You can make money easily with fun, and you can spread
Mm-hmm.
joy and sparkles in people's worlds. Doesn't matter how old are you, as long as that's what makes you giggle. And I have another question. Um, when you so sometimes how do you react to people when they sometimes people launch orders to you and they are not necessarily feeling very happy and uplifting when they come to you and say, I want this. How do you deal with this kind of people? Because I know you're a very energetic person, and I know that you perceive everything that's going on in people's worlds. How do you it's not even a how, but what is your trick, to deliver? Because you want it or not, when people place orders, you deliver something. What is it? How is
Well,
it hard
I,
to do?
I learned with time because I used to try to stand even on my head to deliver. That was really a challenge for me. And it's, well, there's some people that say, I would like this and this and this, and then you go. You create, I like your work, and you go. And that, I would say, I would not conclude, but that almost always gives greatness. And there's people that are actually not sure what they want. They sense a glimpse, they like something, they don't know what they like, and they try to control. And I know about this because I'm a control freak in recovery. And I know what control
Can
creates.
do.
Yes. And I try to, ask questions and, just perceive what their world would be.
And what
And
they are
most of
really
the
asking
times,
for, and what they
I am, I say yes and I do my thing. And most of the times that they are happy because, you know it's the sensation that it really lights people's worlds. And also, I can, like, not so modestly say that I change a lot of points of view with ladies that said, okay, I would just like a really small thing, and not it's discreet, like I said, if you want discreet and almost nothing, um, maybe you would like to find that somewhere else, because I am a little bit flashy. I like big, colorful, uh, really out there jewelry for me, and it's this is expressed with all the jewelries. And let's face it, you liked something when you went my way. So
Yeah.
maybe it's time for you to experience something new that you haven't experienced before. It's this common point of view that clips, the earrings with clips from the 50s, they hurt your ears. And there are a lot of ladies dreading the clips. But also, it's like, if you don't like plastic in your jewelry, then it's like your jewelry will be heavier than plastic. So if it's glass, it's actually the only, for the earrings, the only system that will sustain the whole thing, and
Yeah.
also not hurt your ears.
I know that. I confirm. I have very sensitive ears and they are not that heavy and that, but I also am biased. My mom used to wear them, and when I was a child, I would always put her clips on my ear. So I'm kind of familiar with that. It really reminds me of her somehow. It's kind of, so that's I'm biased, but they don't hurt. It's true. That's a myth. Now, with the pandemic hitting, Wana, how did this impact your business? Because at the end of the day, it's a business.
Well, it did, and it didn't. It was like the wave that was perceived all over the world. That first impact that, oh, the world is ending, and we won't buy anything that is not, how should I say it, like not the basic needs. And let's face it, jewelry is not basic needs. It's not viewed as basic needs. But when you have things for your like well-being and that put smiles on your face, you begin to actually alter that point of view. And joy is, from my perspective, a basic need. It's a basic, nurturing and food for your soul, for food for your being, because it's like slow suicide if you are not feeding your soul.
Yeah. And it's like the reason I asked this question is because I know that during the pandemic, you have been creating a lot on all
Mhm.
fronts. And I know that the dolls went into the world and even more earrings went into the world. And I just wanted to
Mhm.
touch upon this. Whatever we have decided that we need, what if we allowed ourselves to enjoy something that we don't necessarily need, but makes us brighter, sparklier, and how should I say, invites for more of what we truly like to have in our lives. And to me, your fairies, I will no longer call them dolls. They are fairies. So the fairies and the earrings and the shores, because March is approaching, and I
Yeah.
know you're also creating a lot of Romanian symbols, the shore. For those who don't
Mhm.
know what that is, well, please look up the Wikipedia because it's a long story. Where can people find you?
Well, I'm all over the place. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, it's my profile, and also groups is Romanian Călătoria în Culori. It's a journey in colors in English. And also my profile, my page is Colectia de margele. And you will it's a lot of chances you will find when somebody is wearing them near you, and you
Yeah.
will know they are there. They are Colectia de Margele.
I
This
love
is
that.
this is something that this is really dear to my heart. All those ladies and all those people that tell, I know your hands are there. I know that, every time I see a doll, every time I see a necklace, every time I see, and it's not something that I invented, it's something that uh, I make it mine.
Wow, I love
Every
it.
single thing that I do, I make it mine. And maybe it's a demand in my world. I'm not sure what it is, but it's something that you will recognize.
Thank you for that. I mean, like the nobody can, yeah, nobody can miss your touch in whatever you touch. Well, Juana, thank you so, 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 so much for this conversation on the fairies, on the beads, on you, on your creation elves, which are not in the camera, but I'm happy that you mentioned them. And well, what should I wish you? What would you like me to wish you for the rest of the year?
Well, travel the world more.
Travel the world more. Thank you so, so, so much to you and to all who have watched. I'm reminding you that if you like this type of interviews and this series, just hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. If you're on StreamYard, you will see the Facebook Live as well. And if you have an idea, if you're inspired by somebody who you consider being an uplifter, just give me a sign. Make a wink somewhere, and I will be honored and delighted to have this kind of conversations with all the uplifters out there in the world. Thank you so, 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 so much. And well, see you soon. Bye.
Sparkle.